Okay, good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
So, our subject at this moment is Friends, Networks, and Critical Thinking in the 21st Century. And before we start this, I ask again all of you to please stand. Okay, as we have our singing of national anthem to be followed by a prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Hayang magiging kasasimakalan, alam ng puso sa ito'y buhay. Upang itinang kuya naman makinig sa magtutubig, kita masisipin sa narapat tutok sa simulan. Sa langit ko walang ay kinatangkulang ang isang bagay minamahal. Ang isang katawan ko'y patuloy na nakiligin. Ang ituloy na talo na kailanman ay nakiligin. Duwalang araw ng pagdamit pagsika, ko'y langit sa piling ko. Ang ligaya ng ako'y babae, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Amen.
Amen. So, you may now take your seats. Again, once again, good morning. And for our subject, we are going to, of course, look back. Remember that in the past few days, we don't have your face-to-face classes, so we have to look back first with our topic from the past lessons, and then we will connect it to our present lesson. Alright, so with that, I want to ask you first, alright, what is democracy? So anyone? Okay, Brian?
Power of the people.
Okay, so it has something to do with the power of the people. Do we have any other definition? Yes, Nicole?
It from the Latin practice, which means people power.
Okay, so it came from the word demos and kratos, which means people power, power of the people. Alright, so we will not dwell on this deeper because we still have the new topic for today. For our lesson today, this is your content standard. So, you should be able to understand the meaning and dimensions of democracy at the end of the lesson. And also, you should be able to use any form of oral presentation. The learner or you explain creatively the ill effects, okay, the unwanted effects of the undemocratic practices related to factors such as gender biases, poverty, political marginalization, racial inequality, cultural domination, crisis of representation, and politics of recognition. So as you can see, there are a lot of factors affected by the type of practices or system that we have in a certain group or society. For their learning competency, this is only for this lesson. You should, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the importance of participation in democracy, define democratic participation. Right? So, from that word itself, or words, you can see that democracy is not just one word, it also have different types. Again, our topic is about democratic participation. Okay? So let's have this simple fact check or activity. There's activities intended for you to measure how much do you know about our topic. So it is called fact or bluff. It's just a different version of true or false. So there will be some statements that will be shown on the screen, and then you will identify them. Is it a fact or a bluff? So first statement, can you please read, Geraldine?
The most important role of the government is to fulfill the people's basic needs.
Okay, is it a fact or a bluff? Okay, who says it's a fact? Raise your hand. Okay, so everyone. So let's try to look at the answer. Yes, it is a fact. So the most important role of the government is to fulfill the people's basic needs. And of course, education is one of those. Next statement. One of the benefits of democratic participation is to establish unity among members. Is it a fact or a bluff? Okay. So who says fact? Raise your hand. How about bluff? Are you sure? Okay, let's see. Okay, it is a fact. So one of the benefits of democratic participation is to establish unity. But later on, there will be some questions about the word unity in democracy. We will learn about that later. For the third one, please read, Ansley.
Democratic participation is emphasized in uniformity rather than to promote respect of culture and heritage.
Okay, is it about uniformity and not about culture and heritage? Is it a fact or a bluff? Okay. Alan, what's your answer? Bluff. How about Brian? Bluff. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's a bluff. So it means democratic participation emphasizes respect or to promote respect and respect of culture and heritage. Okay, Bob? Next. Alright, so Christina, please read.
Democratic participation should always nurture the spirit of caring and sharing.
Okay, is it a fact or a bluff? Giselle? Fact. How about Nicole?
Fact.
Fact. Okay, let's see. Correct, it's a fact. So when we talk about democratic participation, it should always nurture the spirit of caring and sharing. Alright, we still have more. We don't have any more. Actually, you've got the correct answer. We don't have to discuss everything. Okay, that's the purpose. But in order for you to have a refresher with this, because I believe you have encountered this from your past subjects, but this one we need to have a little upgrade or update of information. Alright? So the next part will be activity time. So for this activity, what are you going to do? Watch and observe the teacher with the broomsticks and be ready for an oral recitation. So I would like to advise you to please get your pen and paper. You already have your notebooks with you and your ball pen. Write anything that you can observe. Because after this, I'm going to ask you about something about the activity. Okay? So I have here one piece of a stick from a broom, the whole broom, and the broom. Okay? So I'm going to use it to clean. For this one, and this is the second one. Alright? Next, I'm going to break it. So the first one and the second one. I hope you already have the gist of what this activity would like to convey. Alright, so I'll give you 2 minutes to please write your observation about this activity on the broom. Alright? Okay, so timer starts now. Alright, time's up. Now, we will be having the oral recitation. So with your observation, I hope you can answer the following question. First question, where did the broomstick get its strength? Okay? Lisa. Okay, from unity. Okay? What else? Ansley? Okay, from their numbers. As you can see, there is power in numbers, but it is useless without, the answer of Giselle, without unity. Next question. What did you realize from the activity? Yes, Nicole.
That we are strong with unity.
Okay, that we are strong with unity. What else, Geraldine?
That we are strong when we are new.
Again?
That
We are strong.
when we are many.
Okay, that we are strong when we are many. Okay? So again, it's almost the same with the first answers, but actually that's the point of the activity. To show you that you alone may be strong, but you can be stronger if you are many. Diba nga? As they said, or as they say, rather, 2 heads is better than 1. Okay? But numbers do not mean strength. It only gives you power or strength if those numbers unite. Right? So another activity we have here is a video. Okay, so I will be playing a video, and later on again we will have some questions to answer. And for this one again, I would like you to jot down every information or insights that you can gain from the video. So are you ready? Are you ready, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the video is here.
The orders are on target.
Boy, when you get a chance, I like it there, stir up your crowd, man.
How good can a team be? Seriously, how powerful is teamwork? Great team. I mean, really ask that question. Who defines the lead? And we're going to push that edge. Stop thinking about this room. And realize that every team that accomplished that touchdown, every team that got it, every team that had done it had never been done before, they all had to break through. They all had to understand that there was this edge. And then they had to challenge the edge. And then they had to break through that invisible line. They all had to do it. Through that group of incredibly talented people, bumping up against each other, having arguments, having fights sometimes, making some noise, and working together, they polish each other. And they polish the ideas, and what comes out is really beautiful stuff. There's no other way to get through other than challenging your fears. Because in order for teamwork to be at its highest potential, everyone's got to have something on the line. Otherwise, you're only partway in. At the end of the day, you're going to need to trust those around you. To fully trust. This is about us. Think about New Zealand, this country with under 5 million people, and they have the best rugby team in the world. They are consistently the best in the world. Or the Apollo mission, a group of people saying, we hear you, we got it. And all of our talents are on the line to get you home. That's teamwork. Think about the Beatles. All that music that we know of theirs, all of it, was made in about 8 years. Just 8 years. They were that incredible as a team. Great teams, I mean, they're not about individuals melting into the team. That's the mistake. People hear about the power of teamwork, and they think it's about losing yourself to the singular goal. They think it's about fully giving in to something bigger. You don't lose yourself. Great teammates, they don't lose themselves. They stand up. They say, I'm here. They choose to be in, and they choose to play their unique part. That's how it is. So then what's the breakthrough? What did those teams do to unlock the full power of teamwork? You know, that's the hard part. You can't see the edge. You actually don't know what it is until you cross over and look back and see what it was. That's why it's always easier. I mean, it's always easier to catch up than it is to raise the ball. Because the team that broke through, they marked the line. And now everyone else, they just need to get over that mark. The Patriots, Belgium, Brady, I mean, what they've been doing is so unbelievable. Because they keep raising the bar. They keep nudging it higher. So even if people catch up, it's too late. You know, Steve Jobs and Apple.
For the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
They were operating in this abyss. I mean, they were out there in this vast unknown. So instead of breaking through, instead of seeing the line, you have to forget the line. It's just another limit. The marker in great teams is never extreme. Because you're out in this unknown. You're out in this unmapped territory. So instead, the power of teamwork comes from a belief. It comes from a mindset. We can't get satisfied by the breakthroughs. We can celebrate. We should celebrate them, but we can't be satisfied by the limits. That's what humbles me the most about great teams. That's what humbles me the most about the power of teamwork. Because it's almost like you've got to operate in the darkness, knowing you're lighting the path for everyone else, and still heading in there, still pushing that edge. That's how to unlock the power of teamwork.
There's the presentation to Wayne Prescott, the young Edmonton captain.
Alright. So, that is a very simple video with a very simple topic. But it's very important. As you can see, a very simple word or group of words, let's just say, and it means a lot. Now, let's try to answer the following question. What can you say about the video? Yes, Brian.
Teamwork is important to succeed.
Okay, that teamwork is important to succeed. I know that you already observed that in the video. Do you have any other observation? Yes, Christina?
That collaboration is important for progress.
Okay, that collaboration is important for progress. So, as you can see, collaboration mentioned by Christina, it's almost the same as teamwork, group work, as working together. Okay, and they are very important, especially for progress. as the video a while back says, there is a limit, there is a line. But what you need to do is not to think about that line, because that will just limit the progress or your actions in order to do more and be more. Right? How about the next question? What is the video all about? How about Alan?
About teamwork and class.
Okay, so the video is about teamwork and what it does or what it can do. Okay, do you have other answers? Yes, Ansley?
About teamwork leading to
Okay, it's about teamwork leading to success. So almost everything is about collaboration, teamwork, and in order for us to be successful, we need to do that effectively. How do you relate the video to your own experience? Nicole?
I should trust people around who want me to succeed in life.
Okay, so you should trust people around you who wants you to succeed, who want success for you. Okay, so because when we talk about teamwork, trust is very important. Though, yes, it is natural for us not to trust everyone, at least you can identify people who want you to succeed. And you have to trust them because they only want what's good for you. Alright? So what else? Giselle?
I feel that I should participate more in class to contribute.
Okay. You should participate more too. I can understand. Okay, so you should have, that's correct. You should participate more to have good grades. Okay, because nowadays, it's no longer about memorizing this, memorizing that. It's not just about having higher scores. Nowadays, as you can remember, the grading system that we have, performance task is higher than written works. So, written works is, of course, it's very important as well, but your participation is more valued. Okay? It has more grades if you participate more. Okay, so that's a very good answer. Do we still have more? Yes, Ansley?
I should work with my classmates to always be updated on class activities.
Okay, you should work with your classmates to be updated because, of course, you might not know there will be times that you will be absent, you will be excused, you have something else to do, that's why you can't attend school. Now, if you don't have a good relationship with your classmates, how will they update you? Okay? How will you catch up with the lesson? Ibig sabihin po, your classmates can also help you. Okay? You just have to trust them and work with them. Right? So let's proceed with the next one. Alright, so what is participatory democracy? This part, I'll be discussing it shortly because I believe you already gained the skills and knowledge that you have to have in yourself in order to understand participatory democracy. Of course, we defined democracy a while back as people power, demonstrators, power of the people, meaning the people are more powerful than the leader. Okay? When we talk about participatory democracy, it means that everyone is involved in decision making. So for example, if you guys still remember our topic in politics and governance about the chieftains, about the tribes, okay, which the decision lies on the datu, okay, that the decision lies on the king. When it comes to democracy, the decision lies on the people or on the members. Okay? Meaning, everyone is given opportunity to contribute to the progress, to contribute to what decision we make. For example, selecting your leader. Do we do that? Yes. We are participating in selecting our leaders through what? Through votes. Through voting, through election. We elect the president. It is not that the president's child will be the next president, diba? So in participatory democracy, what you need to remember is that everyone is involved. We do not elect barangay captain, and the barangay captain are the only ones to elect the mayor. Diba? We do not do that. We elect the barangay captain, the mayor, the governor, and all the other positions. That's what we call participatory. Okay? Whatever happens, you are aware because you need to participate in the decision making. Also, participatory democracy, as you can remember, it promotes unity among members. Why? Because after the election, we will only have one president. And the president will take care of all the members of the society, even those people who did not vote for him or her. Okay? If you, that's related to our present situation, we have BBM and Lenin. Right? So, BBM is unofficially leading the votes or the election. So, if in case BBM will be the president, he will be the president not only for those people who voted for him. And BBM will also cater the names of those who voted for Lenin, for Pacquiao, for King Lacson, for Isko, and other candidates. So it promotes unity. Because after election, we should always be united. We are catered with one leader, we only have one leader. And that's it. The question is there unity after election here in the Philippines? Based on your observation. So, a bit confusing, right? Though we have participatory democracy, the disadvantage of it is sometimes it divides people, especially because all people are given equal power. But not all people are equal in status. What do I mean by that? The poor are given the poor people or a poor person is given one vote. A rich person is given another vote. There are a lot of poor people, so they can win if they will unite. But then the other one, they have the same power with votes, but after the election, they don't have the same status. The poor stays poor, the rich stays rich. So when the rich loses, they can do something that the poor people cannot. Diba? So participatory democracy may promote unity, but because of the different status, because of the different perception and ideas that we have, we ended up having some conflicts. And that conflict is allowed in democracy because in democracy, you are free to express yourself. Therefore, if you don't like what is happening around you, you are free to express it. But let me just remind you that freedom of expression is not the same with freedom from consequences. There will always be consequences, whether it's positive or negative. Alright? So there are positivity and negativity when it comes to participatory democracy. Right? So, participatory democracy, go or no? I will give you 5 minutes to write a simple statement. You need to choose. Are you in favor with participatory democracy? You might state the positive things about it. And if no, if you're not in favor of having participatory democracy in your society or in your country, you just give me the reason why. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to do that, and your timer starts now. Okay, time's up. Alright, so I know that you already, in 5 minutes, I know that you already written or wrote sufficient information about your side, if it's a go or no. Okay, before we proceed with the questions that you need to answer based on what you have written, let me know who among you says go. Please raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have no for the code. We all have, again, this is a democratic country, right? So we all have our own opinion. And this is just class discussion. So please be open-minded with the opinions of your classmates. Alright? So I'll be expecting some reasons from Nicole about no and go for the rest of the class. Next, cite some reasons why you are in favor. Okay, so let me ask first those who are in favor. Ansley, why are you in favor of democracy or participatory democracy?
Because it involves
Okay, that's correct. Because it involves youth. Okay? Whatever happens in your society, you are aware and you have the voice, at least, to be heard. That's correct. What else? Yeah, let's just do it this way. Briar.
because we are empowered.
Okay, we are empowered. That's correct. As member of the community, as member of the society, if we have participatory democracy, we are empowered. Okay. So maybe I will just ask one last. We still have Christina.
Because it promotes awareness in the decision making which affect us.
Okay. Because it promotes awareness. Since you are involved in participatory democracy, of course you are aware of what is happening. It's not that after the election you don't know who is the president. That when the election comes, you don't know who are running for the presidency. Right? You are aware of what is happening because you have participatory democracy in you. Okay. I'll ask Nicole for this question. Why are you not in favor? Can you give me at least one reason?
Because it divides the people in making decisions which can lead to conflicts.
Okay. So it can divide the people. Because in democracy, majority rules. Okay? It can divide. The decision in participatory democracy is not always, but most of the time, it is not unanimous. It is not in uniform. It does not have uniformity. But the majority will prevail. And for that, there are some division, and just like what I've said during the discussion a while back, because of the difference of status right after the decision-making process, there may be some conflict. So this is the next question. Will there be something that will change your mind about democracy? Geraldine.
When people don't care about the result of their decisions.
Okay, so when people do not care anymore, that is happening actually around us. I hope, or I know that you are aware about vote buying. They don't care about who wins as long as they receive something. So that is one such thing that can make Geraldine change her mind from being pro-democracy to anti. Okay, we have another one. Christina.
If time comes that there is too much conflict.
Okay, so if time comes that there is too much conflict because of the power given to the people might abuse their power and there might be some conflicts that we cannot handle anymore. Because some conflicts happens and innocent people actually are suffering from it. Next question, what are your realizations after writing your thoughts? Okay, Giselle.
But there are positive and negative sides in the democracy.
Okay, so that there are negative and positive sides of democracy. It is not because you are given the power, your life will just be rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns every day. There will always be positive and negative side of something. But still, you are given the power to turn those negativities into positivities. Okay? How about others? Yes, Nicole?
That there are ways needed to be done in order for democracy to be more effective.
Okay. To be more effective, it's not enough that you are given the power to be part of the decision making, but there should be something else needed to be done. Okay? How will you relate the paper to the present condition of the country or yourself? Anyone? Yes, Geraldine.
The election conflicts is brought by having a democratic system.
Okay, so conflicts from election from democracy. So there might be conflicts because we have too much power in our hands. Okay, what else? Brian?
The people are given rights to participate in selecting the country leaders.
Okay, in a positive way, they are given the right to participate. They are given the right to vote. So let me encourage you to please, whoever you want to vote, the important thing is, of course, you vote wisely and you vote. You exercise your right to vote. As a senior high school student, in what way do you experience participatory democracy? Nicole.
Exercising my rights to vote.
Okay, exercising your rights to vote. As I said a while back, you need to exercise your right to vote. Because that is part of your responsibility as the citizen of our country. What else? Ansley.
Getting involved in community engagement.
Okay, getting involved in the community engagement. That is one part of, or that is one of the things that you can do in order to contribute to the progress of your community, to engage in the activities within the community. Alright, so what is participatory democracy again? Alan?
Democratic systems where every member of a group is involved in decision making.
Okay, so it's a system where everyone is involved in decision making. Every member are given power, equal power to contribute in the decision making. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Can you give me, let's have two advantages. You can give one. Giselle.
It empowers the members of the society.
Okay, it empowers the members of the society. What else? Yes?
It gives opportunity to have a voice in the society.
It gives opportunity for the people to be heard, to have their voice in the society. How about the disadvantages? How about the disadvantages? Yes.
It divides the members.
Okay, it divides the members. Majority rules. So the decision is not always, but most of the time it is not unanimous. So the members are divided. What else? Yes, Ansley?
It can result in conflict.
It can result to conflict. Okay? Because we are divided, we have different opinions, we have different ideals in life, it might result to conflict. Alright, so that's it for our lesson for today because this part is already your performance task. So for your performance task, you need to create a video presentation. It can be a discussion video, a blog, or a play about the ill effects of undemocratic practices related to the factors such as, you need to only choose one factor: gender biases, poverty, political marginalization, racial inequality, cultural domination, crisis of representation, and politics of recognition. You need to select one. And for this performance task, you have this rubric. You just have to follow the indicators within, and as much as possible, follow the indicators under 5, so that you can have 5 points with every criteria. Okay, you don't have to take pictures to read it right now. I will be giving you a copy of this rubric. And that's it about democratic participation for our lesson for today in our subject, Trends, Network, and Critical Thinking in the 21st Century. I'm your Sir Dexter, and thank you so much for your participation. Goodbye, class.
Goodbye and thank you,